Now, let us begin our class with Brahmanad. Om. Om. Shanti. 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 Swastha. In our today's class, we will discuss on the second unit of the lesson 3 questions by Leo Tolstoy. In our previous class, we discussed that there occurred 3 questions in the mind of a certain king. He thought if he knew the answers of the questions that occurred to him, he would never fail in anything that he might undertake in life. So he was curious to know the answers of his 3 questions. So what did he do to know the answers of his 3 questions? To know the answers of his 3 questions, he proclaimed in his kingdom that whoever would answer his questions clearly, he would certainly be awarded by him. As a result, many wise, learned people came to the king to answer his questions. But the learned man answered the questions of the king differently. As the answers were various and did not match to one another, he was not satisfied with the answers given to him by the wise man. So he decided at last that he would go and consult a hermit who lived in the woods. And he was renowned, he was very famous for his wisdom. And why did he decide to consult the hermit or the holy man who lived alone in the woods? Because he was a very wise man. And the king thought if he went to him, he might get the correct answers of his questions. But as he was not satisfied with the answers given to him by the learned man, he did not reward any of the wise men or any of the learned men who came to him and answered differently to his questions. Now, let us go through the second unit of the lesson 3 questions. Did he call on the hermit for answers to his questions? And remember, call on is a phrasal verb which means visit. Did he call on the hermit for answers to his questions? Yes, he called on the hermit for answers to his questions. Now, let us read the following unit of the text and follow what the king does. The hermit lived in a wood which he never quitted. Where did the hermit live? The hermit lived in a wood, and he lived throughout his life in a certain wood which he never quitted. Quitted means left. Quit, past tense of quit is quitted, and past participle form of quit is also quitted. He had not quitted his dwelling place. Where was the dwelling place of the hermit? It was in a wood. The hermit lived in a wood which he never quitted, and he received none but common folk. He received none but common folk. What does this sentence mean? He received only common folk. He did not receive the royal people. He did not receive the rich people. He did not receive the ministers and so on. But he received only the common folk. Here folk means F-O-L-K. Folk means people. Whom did he receive in his ashram? He received only the common people in his ashram. He received none but common folk. So the king put on simple clothes, and before reaching the hermit's cell, dismounted from his horse, and leaving his bodyguard behind, went on alone. It was also known to the king that the hermit received none but common people. So what did he do? After entering the wood, he changed his royal dress, or he disguised himself as a common man, so that the hermit could not recognize him. So the king put on. Here put on means wear. Put on means wear. What did he wear? He wear the simple clothes. If he went with his royal clothes to the cell or to the ashram of the hermit, he would never have received him. So what did he do? He disguised himself as a common man. So the king put on simple clothes, and before reaching the hermit's cell, here cell is not that microorganism. Here cell means a small room, or we can say the ashram. Before reaching the hermit's cell, the king dismounted. Dismounted means got off. Dismounted. He got off his horse, and leaving his bodyguard behind, he went on alone. He did not allow his bodyguard accompany him to the cell of the sage or the cell of the hermit. He went alone to the ashram of the hermit. But before going to the ashram of the hermit, he disguised himself as a common man. He did not go to the cell of the hermit as a king, because it was known to the king that the hermit received none but only common people. When the king approached, the hermit was digging the ground in front of his hut. What did the king find when he approached the hermit's hut? When he approached the hermit's hut, the king found that the hermit was digging the ground in front of his hut. When the king approached, the hermit was digging the ground in front of his hut. Seeing the king, he greeted him. See, it is our culture. Whenever we see a stranger or others approaching us or coming to us, we greet him. Finding a stranger at his door, the hermit greeted the newcomer. The hermit greeted him. He didn't know that it was the king of the kingdom who had come to meet him, as the king had gone to him in simple clothes but not in royal dresses. Seeing the king, he greeted him and went on digging. But what did he do? What did the hermit do after greeting the king? After greeting the king, he continued his work. And what work was he doing when the king went to meet him? When the king went to meet him, he was digging the ground in front of his ashram or in front of his hut. The hermit was frail and weak. You know, frail means thin, reticent, and weak. The hermit was frail and weak, and each time he stuck in the past tense of stick, his spade. You know, spade is a digging instrument. Each time he stuck his spade into the ground and turned a little earth. After digging the ground and removing a little earth, he breathed heavily. See, it means he felt tired after digging the ground and removing a little soil. He felt very tired. He breathed heavily. And when we breathe heavily when we feel ourselves tired or fatigue. The king went up to him and said, I have come to you, wise hermit, to ask you to answer 3 questions. Thereafter, the king went to the hermit and informed him why he had come there. He went to the hermit and addressed him, O wise king, O wise hermit, I have come to you to ask you to answer 3 questions. Yes, this was the reason why the king had gone to the ashram of the hermit. And he said to the hermit, by addressing him, wise king, I have come to you to know the answers of my questions. Then he also said, how will I know the answers of my questions? What were the questions that came to the mind of a king? The questions were, what was the right time to begin an action? And his second question was, who was the important person to listen to and to whom to avoid? And his third question was, what was the right thing to do in life? These were the 3 questions that came to the mind of the king. And he thought if he knew the correct answers of these questions, then he would never fail in anything that he might undertake in life. He also said before the hermit his questions and wanted the answers from him or from the hermit. He said to the hermit, O wise hermit, how can I learn to do the right thing at the right time? Who are the people I most need, and to whom should I therefore pay more attention than to the rest? And what affairs are the most important and need my first attention? In fact, these were the 3 questions which he wanted to know the answers from the hermit. The hermit listened to the king, and you know the difference between hear and listen. We hear when we do not pay attention to the words of the others, we hear. And when we pay attention to the words of others, we listen. The hermit listened. The hermit listened attentively the questions said to him by the king. The hermit listened to the king, but answered nothing. He did not answer then and there. He waited. He waited to he waited the king to answer him later. The hermit listened to the king but answered nothing immediately. He just spat. Spat is the past tense of spit. And when we discuss the poem Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, and the lesson standing up for yourself. You know, Yevgeny Yevtushenko learned how to spit elegantly through his teeth. There you were told the meaning of the word spit, usually the saliva of the mouth. And when we put on our hand to get some relief after doing hard work. Similarly, what did the hermit do? The hermit spat on his hand and recommenced. Commenced, you know, began. Recommenced, started again his work. And what was the work? The work was digging the earth. You are tired, said the king. Let me take the spade and work a while for you. The king was waiting to know the answers of his questions from the hermit, as the hermit did not answer his questions immediately. He made him wait to know the answers of his questions. Finding the position of the hermit, he took pity on him. The hermit was frail and weak, and each time he struck his spade on ground, he breathed heavily. So the king took pity on the hermit. He went to him and said to him, "You are tired. Let me take the spade and dig the earth for you a while. You are tired. Let me take the spade and work a while for you." The king, when asked the hermit to give him the spade to work for him a while, he handed over the spade to the king by offering his thanks. The hermit said to the king, "Thanks." Then he gave the spade to the king and sat down on the ground to take rest. When he had dug 2 beds, here he refers to the king. When the king had dug, see, after head, dug is used. So it is used as the past participle form of dig. Dig, dug, dug. What does it mean? To pierce a spade or any pointed instrument into the earth and turn out soil from it. It is called digging. And he made 2 beds. And when we prepare small plots for gardening purpose, or when we make rows for gardening purpose, we say beds. After making 2 beds for plantation, the king stopped and repeated his questions. He again repeated the questions or his questions to the hermit. The hermit again gave no answer to him. Again he listened. Again the hermit listened to the questions of the king, but he did not answer the questions of the king. The hermit again gave no answer, but rose. Rose in the past tense of rise. He got up or stood up. Stressed, stretched out, expanded his hand for asking the spade or asking for the spade. Stretched out his hand for the spade and said to the king, the hermit said to the king, stretching out his hand, now you give me the spade so that I will dig the earth and you take rest. Now rest a while and let me work a bit. But the king did not give the hermit the spade, and he continued to dig. Time passed by, and time and tide wait for none. Time passed by, 1 hour passed, and another 1 hour passed. The king went on digging beds after beds for plantation purpose of the hermit, but he was not given the answers of his questions. The sun began to sink behind the trees. Soon it was the time for the sun to be set. The sun began to sink behind the trees. That means the dusk time had approached. The sun was going to set, and the king at last stuck the spade into the ground and said, I came to you to know the answers of my questions, but you made me wait long, but did not answer my questions. I came to you, wise man, for an answer to my questions. If you can give me none, tell me so, I will return home. He said, the king said to the hermit, if you don't want to give the answers of my questions, just inform me, just tell me, so that I will go home. And when did he say this to the hermit? He said this to the hermit at evening. Here comes someone running, said the hermit. That time, the hermit found someone coming towards them. He said to the king, see, someone is coming towards us. Here comes someone running. Let us see who it is. Let us confirm who this man is. The king turned back to confirm or to know who that man was coming to them. The king turned round. And when the king turned round, he found a bearded man come running out of the wood. He found a bearded man coming round, running out of the wood. And while he was coming out of the wood running, he held his hands tightly on his stomach. The man held his hands pressed tightly against his stomach, and the blood was flowing from under them. Here, under them means hands, under his pressed hands. And blood was flowing from under them. When that bearded man reached the king, he fell fainting. After reaching at the place of the hermit, that bearded man fell on the ground and lost his sense. He was sedated there. He lost his sense. When he reached the king, he fell fainted, lost his sense on the ground, moaning feebly. Moan, M-O-A-N, moan, and ing form of moan is moaning. Moaning means crying. Crying feebly. Feebly means weakly. The king and the hermit unfastened the man's clothing. Immediately they started, both the king and the hermit tried their best to save the life of that bearded man. The king and the hermit unfastened means opened the man's clothing. There was a large wound in his stomach. When the king, with the help of the hermit, unfastened the clothing of that bearded man, they found a large wound in his stomach. The king, who had never served or never treated any patient or any wounded man before in his life, washed the wound of that bearded man as best as he could and bandaged it with his handkerchief and with a towel the hermit had. After washing the wound of the bearded man, he bandaged the wound with his handkerchief and with the towel of the hermit he had. But the blood would not stop flowing. Even after it was bandaged, even after the wound was bandaged, the blood did not stop flowing. The blood started flowing after it was bandaged. But the blood would not stop flowing, and the king again and again removed the bandage that was soaked. Soaked means absorbed with warm blood, and washed the wound, again rebandaged, again bandaged. Again bandaged means what? Rebandaged the wound. And the king became successful. How did he become successful? As he tried again and again and again to stop the flowing of blood from the wound, he got success. The blood stopped flowing from the wound of that bearded man. When at last the blood ceased means stopped flowing, the man revived, came to his sense and asked for something to drink. When he came, or when he felt little better, came to his sense and felt little better, he asked the king to give him something to drink. He asked for something to drink. The king never obeyed the orders of others, but today he carried out the orders of the bearded man. When he was said to bring him some water to drink, he immediately brought fresh water and gave it to him. Meanwhile, the sun had set and it became dark. Soon they spread the darkness all around. It became night. And daytime we get worm, or worm is worm. We find worm in daytime and cool during the night time. And it had become cool, and the atmosphere became cool as they spread the darkness all around. So the king, with the help of hermit, carried the wounded man into the hut. That bearded man was in front of the hermit's hut, and when night approached, the king, with the help of the hermit, took that wounded man or that bearded man into the hut of the hermit. Carried the wounded man into the hut and laid, L-A-I-D. It is the past tense of laid. Laid means put. Put him on the bed. Lying on the bed, the man closed his eyes and was quiet. He felt comfortable after the treatment that was provided to him by the king. Lying on the bed, the wounded man closed his eyes and was quiet. In fact, he was asleep. But the king was so tired with his walk. He had never walked wherever he went on his horse and other vehicles. But that day he had to walk to the cell or to the ashram of the hermit, because he knew if he did not go to the ashram of the hermit on foot like an ordinary man, then he would not be received by him. So he had to walk some distance to reach the ashram of the hermit. So the king was so tired with his walk and with the work. See, he had never dug the earth, but that day he had to dug some beds for plantation purpose for the hermit. He had done hard work also. He had worked at the same time. He had worked hard. He had worked and worked hard. That he crouched down on the threshold. Crouched. See, when it is a sitting or a sleeping posture with hands and legs bent. When we bend our hands and legs and sleep or lie or sit, it is called crouching down on the threshold. Threshold means doorstep of the ashram. Also fell asleep so soundly that he slept all through the short summer night. See how the night past was not known to him. In his palace, he used to live his life. He had to live. He used to live a luxurious life, but in the ashram of the hermit, he had to lie on the floor at the threshold or the doorstep of the hermit's ashram, and he crouched, bending his hands and legs. He slept near the threshold of the hermit's ashram. And how that short summer night passed was not known him. He had a sound sleep that night. When he awoke or when he woke up, it was already morning. When he awoke in the morning, it was long before he could remember where he was. He could not remember where he was. It was long before he could remember where he was and who was the strange bearded man lying on the bed. He could also find that bearded man lying on the bed in the ashram of the hermit and gazing, looking fixedly. That is called gazing intently. Intently means with earnest attention at the king with shining eyes. That bearded man was feeling pretty well the next day morning, and he was gazing at the king with his shining eyes. When that bearded man found the king waking up, he begged apology. He said, "Your Majesty, forgive me, said the bearded man in a low voice, in a weak voice, when he saw that the king was awake and was looking at him. When he found that the king was awake and was looking at him, he said in a low voice to forgive him. The king said to that bearded man, "I do not know you and have nothing to forgive you for. You have done nothing wrong to me. Why will I forgive you? And why will you ask to me to forgive you?" said the king to the bearded man. You do not know me, but I know you, said the bearded man. The bearded man said to the king, Your Majesty, you don't know me, but I know you. I am that enemy of yours. I am that enemy of yours who swore. Swear, the past tense of swear is swore. Took an oath or a promise to revenge himself on you. I wanted to take revenge for executing my brother. I am that enemy of yours who swore to revenge himself on you because you executed. Executed means punished by death. As you executed my brother, I swore to revenge himself on you. You executed my brother and seized his property. I knew you had gone alone to see the hermit. It was known to me that you had gone alone to consult the hermit. I knew you had gone alone to see the hermit, and I determined, or I decided to kill you on your way back. So I decided that I would kill you on your way back. I decided to kill you on your way back. But the day passed and you did not return. Time passed by from morning to evening, passed, but you did not return. So I came out from my ambush. Ambush means hiding place. He had come and hid himself in a secret place so that the bodyguard of the king and others would know nothing about him. So he was hiding himself in a secret place. And when the king did not return till evening, he had to come out of his ambush. So I came out from my ambush to find you. And when I came out of my secret place, your bodyguard and your men recognized me. They knew that I was your deadliest enemy. They understood my intention, that I had come to this wood to take my revenge or to kill you. I came upon your bodyguard and they identified me. They recognized me and see what they have done to me. They have wounded me. Anyhow, I escaped from your bodyguard, but should have bled. Bled is the past participle form of bleed, bled, and should have bled to death. I would have died through bleeding. Should have bled to death had you not dressed my wound. It is a clause, and this is called if clause. Had you not dressed my wound, it means if you had not dressed my wound, then I would have bled to death. I wish to kill you. See, my intention was to kill you. I wanted to kill you, but you have saved my life. Now, if I leave and if you wish it, I will serve you as your most faithful slave. See the greatest change in the heart and mind of that wounded man. That wounded man, that bearded man had come to the wood only to take revenge himself on the king. He wanted to kill the king as the king had punished his brother by death and seized his property. This was the reason why the bearded man had come to the king. The man who had come to kill the king is now completely changed. Now he wants to serve him. If I live and if you wish it, I will serve you as your most faithful slave. Slave, you know, servant. And will bead, beaded. Bead means offer, and will offer my sons. Do the same. I will offer my sons also to serve you as servants. Forgive me. He begged. That bearded man begged forgiveness from the king. He said to the king, "O Majesty, please pardon me, please forgive me." The king was glad, you know, very happy. The king was glad to have made peace with his enemy so easily. He had never decided, or he had never thought that he would make peace with his enemy so easily. But that day, he was able to make peace with his enemy very easily, and to have gained him for a friend. He not only forgave in the past tense of forgiven. He not only forgave him, but said he would send his servants and his own physicians. Physicians, you know, people who treat patients are known as physicians. The royal physicians to treat him and to attend him. At the same time, the king also promised that bearded man, he would return the property that his employees had seized. He also promised to restore his property that his employees had seized after killing his brother. So, what we have read today we discussed the king went to the wood to meet the consult because he thought that if he met the hermit, he would get the answers of his 3 questions. But before going to the cell of the hermit, he disguised himself as a common man because it was known to him that the hermit received none but common folk. When he reached the heart of the hermit, he found that the hermit was digging beds for plantation purpose. The hermit, seeing the king, greeted him and recommenced his work. A little later, the king went to the hermit and said to him why he had come there. He said to the hermit, "O wise hermit, I have come to you to know the answers of my questions." He also said all the 3 questions of his to the hermit. The hermit listened to the questions of the king but did not answer his questions immediately. He made him wait to know the answers of his questions. The hermit recommenced his work. And what work was he doing at that time? He was digging the beds for the plantation purpose. Finding that physical structure or physical stature of the hermit, he took pity on him and offered to help him. He said to the hermit, "O hermit, please give me your spade so that I will dig for you, and you please take rest for a while." The hermit gave him the spade and took rest for a while. The king went on digging beds after beds. At the same time, he was hopeful that he would get the answers of his 3 questions. After making 2 or 3 beds for plantation purpose, he stuck the spade into the soil and asked the hermit to answer his questions. But the hermit remained silent and did not answer the questions of the king. Rather, the hermit said to the king to give him the spade so that he would dig the earth while the king was taking the rest. But the king did not give him the spade, but he went on digging beds after beds. Time passed by, 1 hour, 2 hours, time passed by, and the evening time reached. When evening time reached, the king said at last to the hermit, "O hermit, if you don't want to answer my questions, please just tell me that so that I will go home." At that time, there came a bearded man running to them. The hermit said to the king, "See, someone is coming, running towards us." When the king turned around, he found a bearded man coming to them. After reaching to the king and the hermit, the bearded man fell on the ground and lost his sense. The king started giving treatment to the bearded man. When he, with the help of the hermit, unfastened the clothing, they found a large wound in the stomach of the bearded man. The king, with his handkerchief and the towel of the hermit, bandaged the wound of that bearded man. But the blood could not stop flowing, and the king went on bandaging again and again till the blood stopped flowing from the wound. When the blood stopped flowing from the wound, it was already night time. The king, with the help of the hermit, took him into the hermit's hut and laid them on the bed. He was so tired that day. He had never worked. He was so tired for his work and work he had done. When he threw himself on the floor near the threshold of the hermit's ashram, how the night passed was not known to him. He had a sound sleep which he did not get from the luxurious bed of his palace. In the morning when he woke up, he found that the bearded man had already woken up. The bearded man sought forgiveness from the king and told him that he had come to take himself revenge on him. Because the king had executed his brother and seized his property. That was the reason why the bearded man had come to take his revenge himself on the king. See, there was a change in that bearded man, the man who had come to take himself revenge on king, wanted to be a slave of the king. He said if he wished that he would serve the rest of his life, he would also say to his sons to serve the king. And the king became very happy as he was able to make his deadliest enemy as friend so easily. So, let us not be in a hurry while taking any decision. So, see the change that we find in the bearded man. Later on, the king sent his physician and others for his treatment and to attend him and to take proper care of that wounded man. In our next video, we will go through the last unit, that is unit 3 of the lesson 3 questions.